guys, Rana here, and I am back with another video. So today's video will be a little different than normal. I'll just test it out to see how it goes, but this one is a story time, as you can tell by the title, and this one I'll try to not make it lengthy, so I'll try my best. But with this video, I didn't just want to put any old thing out. I didn't want to just talk about any old thing. I really wanted to make sure that it can touch somebody, because it definitely changed my life. So I'll just get right into it. I don't want to have it too long, but I'll just get right into it. So that was my intro. So I'll just start from the beginning. So not many people know, but I was actually fired from my last job. I was a property manager, and I was a manager for over a year. Before that, I was with the same company, just a different location, and that I was just a leasing agent. So I was a leasing agent for 6 months, and then got promoted to property manager, and I was there for a year. Okay, so there, everything was pretty cool. It wasn't a very stressful job. It wasn't overwhelming. It was busy all the time for the most part. But it wasn't too crazy because, you know, you'll have people coming in for questions, packages, tours, lease signings, move-ins, all of that good stuff. So it was always, you know, on the go. So I say that to say it wasn't very difficult to do. So with someone like me who, you know, learns fast, and I like to do things, you know, I try to make my life smarter, not harder. So yeah, the job was going fine. I didn't have really like any issues with anyone. Everything was good. All of my staff was cool. We had weekly meetings. Everything was fine until I had my breast reduction. Actually, tomorrow makes a year. So I had my breast reduction a year ago, and I realized when I came back from my surgery that I was being treated a little bit funny, and I couldn't figure out why. I could not figure out why, but it was just something I'm like, okay, I'm going to still do what I am doing, because before I left, I was gone for 2 weeks. So before I left, everything was cool. Everything was fine. No issues. And then I get back, something is off. You know when something is off. So that was that. And I just went about my business as I normally did. And I realized it started getting like worse and worse. And then I realized the way they started treating this particular coworker of mine versus me. With me being the manager, I felt like, and I still feel like this, that, and I don't want to say it in it, like, I don't want to say it in a way of no one else should know anything, because that's not the case. But I felt like when it came to certain things, especially very important things, that I should have known first. Or not first, but one of the first. It shouldn't be where I'm thrown off and I'm hearing stuff from someone else that shouldn't have known that before me. And just things like that. So it was just, that's just one small piece, but it was just this difference that I noticed. I don't want to go on and on about that, but it was just this difference that I noticed, and I couldn't figure it out. So I was, you know, cool with this particular coworker of mine, and I was asking, you know, just talking to this person, and they were asking me, well, what do you think it is? Why do you think they're treating you this way? And I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I was guessing, but I'm like, I don't know. So that was that. That just kind of went on, and I realized it was getting worse and worse. So fast forward now, that, like I said, that was, I got back in May. I got back to work May 6th. I'll never forget. It was a Monday. And I realized, like, maybe around summertime, it had gotten really kind of bad, to where I was kind of saying in a way to my manager, my supervisor, and like, hey, something's off. This feels a little weird. The vibes, you know, when, you know, some of the corporate office comes in, I said, this kind of feels weird. So she basically, you know, kind of played it off and, you know, changing the subject and, you know, things like that. So I was like, okay, mental note, now I have to watch out for you, because I'm not expecting you to be like, yeah, girl, no, but if it's something that I'm doing wrong, let me know, because mind you guys, for one, I've never been written up at any job since I've started working. So I was thinking, I'm like, okay, well, if I'm doing something wrong, I would expect them to either just let me know. I didn't do anything bad to even get a warning from anything. So I was just curious to know, like, you know, what is it? But again, with me trying to reach out to upper management, the next person up above me who I would go to for just anything, I realized, you know, I wasn't getting solid answers. So again, I said, okay, kept that as a mental note. And then this one particular day, this coworker of mine calls themselves, I guess, getting a little upset with me, whatever. Me being me, if you really can't, if you don't want to speak to me, you don't have to, but we're at work and I'm the manager. And I was never one of those people, I'm the manager. No. But I'm the manager. I have to speak with you about certain things, about your job, your duties, and things like that. So I kept it as that. I said what I needed to say. All the extra, you know, laughing, all the extra this and that kind of got cut off, because I see how you are. You know what I mean? So it was just, you know, it was what it was. It wasn't any, like, to me, it wasn't any tension. It wasn't, you know, beef. It was just, I'm not joking with you because I see how childish you can be. So that was that. So then I realized that this person was, you know, hanging out and talking to a little more to, like, the owners and upper management and things like that when I wasn't around, and, you know, walking around with them around the building and stuff. And that never used to happen, ever. It would be me. So I noticed that. Now this was after the little temper tantrum that this person had. And so, you know, I noticed that. So I was just like, okay. So I went to my person above me again and was saying, you know, something's not right. Something's not right. I can feel it. It's obvious. I don't know what's going on and I don't like it. I said it just like that. I don't know what's going on and I don't like it. Once again, well, I don't think you're, because I said, I don't know if somebody think I'm stupid. I said it just like that. Well, I don't think you're stupid and blah, blah, blah. All right. So we are walking around and again, changing all the topics. Who cleaned this one? This one looks really nice. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about how I feel uncomfortable at my job, and you're the person who I'm supposed to go to, and you're not listening to me. Fast forward to the next day. I come in as normal, doing what I'm supposed to do, speak as normal when I come into the office, and then my supervisor comes in. And I had a camera that I could see who was walking into the door because my office was in the back. So I could see who came through the door. And yeah, so the door opened and I looked at the camera to see who it was, to see if it was just anyone. So I saw who it was, and they came into my office, and as they were coming through, this coworker of mine left out. They did not exchange any words. I remember this day like it was yesterday. The manager came in, this person left out, and they didn't speak. So my supervisor comes in and says, Miranda, I need your keys. So, you know, I'm just like, oh, here, you know, I didn't know what for. And then I hear, you're being terminated. So I said, for what? Mind you, I've never been written up. I've never had any warnings. I've never had anybody talk to me about anything on how I can improve and this and that. Nothing. So they say, Miranda, I need your keys. So I hand it to them, and then they say, you're being terminated. That's exactly how I got fired. So I was just like, for what? And so they were just like, you can call blah, 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 which was the attorney of the company. And said, you can call blah, 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 and they'll explain why. I said, but for what though? See, now I went from Miranda to Andrea real fast, because you're not about to terminate me and not explain to me why. And I'm sitting here in your face and you're telling me I have to call someone who I've probably only had 2 conversations with, maybe 3. And this person doesn't really know me. You know what I mean? Like, so whatever. So they're just like, you have to talk to, you have to call such and such and they'll explain why. So I was just like, but for what? And so I said it again, but with more of an attitude. Again, you have to call such and such to, find out why. I'm like, all right, bet. So I started getting my stuff or whatever, and they handed me the envelope. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I didn't have like any type of bag or anything because that was so unexpected. So I know there were bags in the office, like garbage bags. But I went upstairs to go find one of my other coworkers so I can tell her what was going on. And so I went up there or whatever, and I told her, and then that's when I started crying. I'm a little crybaby sometimes. So I went up there, was talking to this coworker, and they're just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this, can't believe this. So boom, so that was that. So I came back downstairs. So I got a bag from her, basically. So I come back downstairs and start packing my stuff, and I'm just looking like this same person. Now, mind you, I told y'all me and this coworker was cool. I told, supervisor, I said this same person, y'all doing all this to make this person manager, and like this same person was talking to me, talking about how they don't like how the company is run, they don't like how they were treating me, and how they go about things, and they're not organized, they're not this, they're not that. I'm like, y'all, this is who y'all want as manager? Bet, cool. So that was that. So that was October 23rd of 2019. That was a Wednesday. I'll never forget that day. Mind you, it's like 10:30 in the morning. It ain't even noon, and I'm up here getting fired. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I leave there, and I remember I texted my mom and my sister. We had a group chat. I texted them, and I was just like, y'all, I just got fired. Because mind you, I've already been telling them like how they've been treating me. And so my mother used to always say, because her mom used to tell her, my grandma used to tell her, play them at their game, but don't leave. Don't ever quit. Let them fire you. So, I texted them, and so, my sister's just like, what? So, of course, my mom being my mom, she's like, call me. So, I'm like, okay. So, I call her, whatever. Actually, no, you know what? My sister FaceTimed me before I called my mom. My sister FaceTimed me. I'm up here crying on the phone. It was more being upset than anything else because of how everything had just went down, because I didn't deserve that. None of it. So I'm talking to my sister and stuff, and so she's just like, do you want to come over here? Because she was working from home. She was like, do you want to come over here? So I'm like, yeah, I guess. I don't have anything else to do from right now or until when, I don't know when. So I ain't say like that to her, but I was just like, yeah, I'll come over. And so then I take my stuff. I was at home by this point. So I started to grab that same bag that I packed my stuff up with. Y'all, the bag ripped. It was just like, it was just too much. So the bag ripped. So now I got, like I had my oatmeal, because I kept oatmeal there. I ate oatmeal almost every single morning because it was easy. So I had that, like, stuff was on the floor. I was just like, I'm so over it. So I went in, I took what I could. I went in the house, and then I packed my like a little lunch, because I'm like, I'm probably about to be over my sister's for like a couple hours. So get that. And so on my way to my sister's, I had to stop at the gas station. So I was calling my mom, and my mother, being my mother, you know, she's just making sure that I stayed calm within the situation. So she's just like, you know, you already had an idea. She was like, you already kind of knew, but she was like, you're a strong woman. You always do what you have to do. She said, you are always determined. She was like, so this is not about to affect you. You know, she was just like, we're just going to move forward. Basically, like, not she didn't have an it is what it is type of situation. She wasn't like that. She didn't have that attitude, but it was just like, you know there's better for you, so we're not about to trip over this. She was just saying, you know, any way we can, we'll try to help you. And so that was that. So I get over my sisters. I end up falling asleep. You know, just took a nap, because it's like I have all of the time in the world. So that was that. And so in the meantime, though, which is what's crazy, is I didn't have a worrying feeling. This was even before I called my mom. Like, when it happened, it was more upset. It was more anger than, you know, being worried of, you know, bills and whatever the case. So, and I know that was all God right there. So, yeah. So, like I said, I went over there, and after I calmed myself down, I called this person who they told me to call. So I called them, and they were just like, yeah, they just felt like, you know, you were a stronger leasing agent, and, you know, that the manager position just wasn't for you. Y'all gonna say this to somebody who been doing this for a year? I went an entire year, not once written up, not once said, hey, you know, I feel like we can do this differently, or, you know, not once. So basically what you're telling me is, y'all let me come into this job every single day thinking I'm doing okay, and in y'all eyes I wasn't. So that's what I was thinking at first. So I'm like, nah, it's deeper than that. Y'all simply got rid of me because y'all wanted so-and-so to be manager. At first, this person was saying how they didn't want to be manager, and y'all, they were so messy. I forgot this little part, but I don't want to say it too long to, like, have this part long or whatever. But when me and this person was cool, upper management was telling her how they wanted her to be manager and stuff like that, and or whatever the case. So I'm just looking like, all right, so I knew they was like plotting, but I didn't know, like, I didn't know they would do it like that, basically. So with this company being so large, there's other, you know, places to work. They did not want to say, you know, we'll put you at a different location. You know, we still want you with the company because you're just so great. We still want you with the company, but we're just going to relocate you. They didn't say anything like that. They just straight said, cut it off. So that was that. So like I said, it's at that time when it first started happening, when they first started acting funny, I didn't know. And then it kind of like started coming out. Right before I got fired. So that was that. So I kind of, like I said, I was preparing myself in a way, but you aren't always going to be prepared because you don't know when that day is going to come, kind of thing. So that was that. So I hope y'all can keep up, because I should have put that little part before when I said that this person knew, because people was coming, lip healing, people was coming to them saying, you know, that they wanted this person to be manager. So that was that. So, like I said, so that day when I finally talked to the person, they was telling me, yeah, they felt like you were a stronger leasing agent or whatever the case. And then they go to say, and I told them, I said, I've never been written up. You've never seen anything like with my name on it as far as like something bad. And so I told them, I said, I've never had training. That's for one. When I first got into this position, they did not offer me any training. Manager training, I should say. So when I told this person who was telling me, the reason I got fired, and so I was just like, I've never been offered any training. I said, so this entire time, you guys really cannot sit here and say y'all expected XYZ. Excuse me, y'all was only expecting XYZ when that's not what I knew what was expected of me. You know what I mean? That goes with anything, with a job or relationship, anything. You don't know what's expected of you unless that person says it. So if they do something, crazy, it's like, well, not crazy, but if they do something, it's just like, well, that wasn't established in the beginning. So boom, so that was that. So then this person, they were just like, well, did you ask for training? Say that again. Did I ask for training? That's how I knew I was set up for failure from the beginning, because that position wasn't even offered to me. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it was offered to one of my old co-workers who was only there. Now, mind you, I was there for 6 months. This person was only there for 3 months. And it was offered to this person before it was even offered to me. This person was coming up to me saying, I don't want the job. I don't want the job. So I told the manager, like, she was my manager at the time. I told her, I said, blah, blah, blah. If, it's saying that they don't want the job. And I was just saying, I wouldn't mind taking it. So, they were just like, I'll talk to my supervisor and I'll talk to them and whatever the case. So I said, okay. And then that's how I got the job. So it wasn't like, oh, the manager at this place quit. Let's get Miranda in here. It wasn't like that. If I hadn't spoke up, I would not have had that job, or that position, I should say. So, boom. So that was that. And so, so they were just like, did you ask for training and stuff? So I was like, no. I said, if it's a thing to train, I said, I wasn't offered any training. And so they pretty much ain't have nothing to say, because it's like, and so right before I got fired, it was probably like 2 weeks, a manager from another location had gotten, no, not fired, but had left. So they were going to promote whoever, I forgot who it was. I never met the person. They were going to promote that person and put them as manager. And I remember my manager saying, yeah, they're about to have this person in training. Oh, so it's a thing. So like y'all offer training for new managers who've never trained before. Who's never managed before. Okay, bet. So that just goes to let me know I've been here for a year and no one has offered me training. But yet now that I'm fired, and I'm saying y'all didn't offer me any training, so that way I knew exactly what was expected of me. Y'all say, well, did you ask for training? I got you, bro. Got off the phone with them, so I'm talking to my mom. I'm just like, Mom, how do I apply for unemployment? Because I'm about to get them for every single penny I can get, because I'm just sitting here looking like y'all was wrong for doing me like that. I'm looking like I did not do anything wrong. I can see if I was cussing people out. I can see if I had attitudes. I was cool with most of the people. Some of them people there, they just felt some type of way because, I hate to say it, but I was young and, I'm like nice looking. So they were like, felt some type of way. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I've been dealing with that since I was like 16, 17. I'm used to that. So that didn't faze me. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I just let that pass on by. So I talked to who talked to me. And when people came in, I was still respectful because this is my job and I'm just a respectful person. But it was like, it was what it was. So whatever. So boom. So that was that. And like I said, so I applied for unemployment, got it like that, y'all. Got it like that. So all I had to do was just like fill out some papers or whatever the case. I talked to this one guy. I only had to talk to somebody because, y'all, right? Okay, so I got fired October 23rd. I went on a cruise November 9th, I think. So I was going on a cruise in 2 weeks after I got fired. So like I said, I had applied. So by the time I was like kind of setting stuff up, I got a piece of hair somewhere. After I was like setting stuff up, I went on a cruise. And so that pushed my time back because you have to like file every week or whatever the case. So I just said, you know, I couldn't do anything because I didn't have much service out of the country. So that was that. So when I got back, like I said, I had to talk to the guy. And he basically just kind of started it over in a way. But so I did that, whatever. And just like that, I started getting unemployment. So that was that. So I say all of that to say, I'm sorry that part was so long, but I needed y'all to really explain. I needed to explain so y'all really understood like the whole story. So that was that. And believe it or not, that was probably one of the best things that happened to me was me getting fired, because I'm a hairstylist, licensed, everything. I'm pretty decent. I ain't like the best, but you know, I'm pretty decent. So I already knew I wanted to be in a salon. And so I never started looking for a salon. I never put any effort into looking for a salon. I just did it. And so I was just doing hair, you know, at home or at their houses or whatever case. I just never really, you know, put too much, like I said, too much effort into it. So I was thinking like a little bit before I got fired, I was just like, you know, if they do let me go, if they do, because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't just like, oh, they about to get rid of me. It was just like, I could tell something's happening, but I don't know for sure. So I was just like, you know, if I get fired, I said, I'm going to look for a salon home and whatever the case. Y'all, I got fired and I still didn't look for a salon home. I didn't do it right away. I did not do it right away. And it's just, I had so much in my mind. I was my own enemy. So right after that, like I said, I went on a cruise, and around this time, my mom was getting sicker and sicker. So that gave me time to really be with her, you know? So it was just like taking her to her doctor's appointments and stuff like that. Stuff I wasn't able to do. Stuff where if she went to her doctor's appointment, she just told us how it went. So I was able to do that type of stuff with her. And then, like I said, so we got back November 17th. So right after that, I want to say hospice started coming to the house. I want to say it was right after that. So she started having these hospice nurses, and it was like 4 or 5 different people. They all had different positions. It was like one was spiritual, so one was you know, the nurse, one I can't remember, whatever. So they started coming to the house, and I was there with her at all of these appointments. And so December 2nd, she went into the hospice facility, the center, because she kept throwing up. She kept, you know, being nauseous and things like that. And they just did not know what was causing it, because they were just giving her all of these different medicines, and they was giving her this, giving her that. And it was just like nothing was working. And it was just like, if one did seem to work, it was like maybe she went an extra 2 hours without throwing, something like that. Like it just still wasn't working. So like I said, she went to hospice December 2nd. It was a Monday. And that, me having all of this off time, and again, I still wasn't really too pressed, like I said, because for one, you know, I was getting unemployment. So it was just like, and I'm not saying like unemployment is like 100% of your check, but it's still helpful. So that was that, whatever. So like I said, so I was basically there at her side the entire time. So that I'm very grateful for, because had that not happened, I would have, one, for sure, been taken off of work. It wouldn't have been no type of question. At that point, if they had wanted to fire me, they could have definitely fired me. I would not have cared, not one bit. So like I said, so was there with her that entire time until, like, I would leave because, like, for one, I didn't, like, have, like, clothes and stuff there. So, like, I would leave and go home for a few hours, and then me, my sister, and my stepdad would, like, rotate our hours, I would say, because I wouldn't say days, because I was there with her every single day. So that was that. And then, unfortunately, you know, she passed away December 9th, and I still had a lot of time to get myself together. And it took a lot. It took a lot because there was no way I could plan all of this stuff being at work. It just wasn't going to happen. So my sister's birthday was the day after. So she had already had a schedule. She had already had a trip scheduled. I forgot where she went. I think it was Florida. I think. I can't remember. So she had left, and she was gone for 4 days. So in between this time, we couldn't put the funeral when we I don't want to say expected, but we had to put it that very next week, that very next Wednesday, because my sister was gone. I don't want to say like in a bad way, but she was gone. So we wasn't going to have it when she was gone, obviously. So we ended up having it that next week or whatever. So this period of time, I'm, basically, making an obituary by myself. And okay, not by myself. I had somebody helping me, but as far as like explaining, just talk about my mom and, where she went to school and all of this stuff. Like I was, doing all of that stuff by myself or whatever. So that was kind of tough. That was tough. But yeah, it's still a tough time, but you get through it each day. So yeah. So in this time, trying to switch it up. In this time, I had met a friend, and this friend was a barber. And we actually ended up going to the same hair school. Not the same time, but just the same school. And they were asking me, well, what are you doing now? You're not at your job. What are you doing? And so, I was just like, just saying whatever. And they're just like, well, when are you going to get into a salon? And so, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I'll get in one eventually. I had that type of attitude towards it. And they're just like, no, you need to like do this now. Like, you need to do this now. What are you waiting on? Like, and so, I'm just like, well, what about booth rent? What about this? What about that? I'm just like, I'm already not struggling, but I'm okay with my bills, And so they're just like, well, that's why you just gotta hustle. That's why you gotta make sure you promote, make sure you put your stuff out, make sure you're doing this, do that, get business cards, do whatever you need to do. So that was that. So I was actually, this is still December. This was probably about a week before Christmas. And I was about to go out of town for Christmas. So I was just like, when I get back, I'll I'll shadow 10 places. I'll shadow 10 salons within 2 weeks and stuff like that. So they're just like, all right. So this was basically now someone who was holding me accountable, and I didn't even ask for this accountability towards me, but it was there, and I knew I had to live up to it because now I had somebody watching. Okay. So I was just like, okay. So I get back, and I wasn't just saying that to say it. I was really like gonna look at places when I got back. So I get back or whatever. So I start, I had actually posted about it. I was just like, I put in my story on Instagram. I was asking, who salon is hiring or whatever the case. Does anyone know anyone? So, someone that I know sent me someone else's post who was her hairstylist. So I reached out to her, and she was just like, yeah, stop on by or whatever the case. So she was asking about like my clientele and, stuff like that. Now, mind you, my clientele, it's not like booked full, but it's like I have more than, 10 clients. It's just the fact that they don't always come like, in a constant, steady schedule, rotation. So that was that. And so I was just like, yeah, so I was asking about, do they do commission versus booth rent? So, she was just like, I've never really thought about it, but I'll consider it. So I'm like, okay. So she, gave me the day and time to stop by. So the morning, actually, she texted me the night before, but I didn't see it because I was asleep. So to me, it was the day of. So the day I'm waking up, alarm go off, I'm getting ready to, get up and stuff. And I see a message from, this lady saying, well, after reconsidering, I just need someone with a stronger clientele. And, yeah. And so I was just like, whatever. I didn't write back. I didn't even care about not writing back. I just didn't write back. So, because we had this conversation and it was all cool. And then come the day of, it was just like, I would prefer you just let me come shadow or something. And that'd be that. Because little do you know, you're not the only one I was shadowing. Like, it was just, you were the first one. So it wasn't like I was going to be like, oh, first one, let's go. No, it wasn't like that. So that was that. So a little after that, I was talking to my dad about it. And I was actually with my dad. And so he was just like, well, then that place just wasn't for you. It is what it is. Like, my dad had that type of, he was like, it is what it is. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. So that was that. And I was at his house. Y'all, this is how God works. I was at his house, and my cousin, who is a salon owner, comes driving down the street. Now, she hadn't seen me since my mom passed. So, she got out the car and gave me a hug and all that good stuff. And so she was just like, Miranda, what salon are you at? And so I was just like, I'm not at one. And so she was just like, here, let me give you my business card. Now, this is a cousin, like, I hate to say it, but like, I'm closer to my mom's family than, like, my mom's side than my dad's side. So, like, I can't say the last time I actually had a conversation with her. You know what I mean? So that was that. Like, I knew she did hair and stuff, but it was just like, y'all see what I'm trying to say. So, like I said, she saw me, so she was just like, let me give you my business card. So she was like, stop on by tomorrow. And I think it was that next day. I can't remember. So I went, when I did go and see her, we was talking and stuff. And I realized, like, the atmosphere was just exactly what I liked, because it's not a huge salon. It's not like all of these people, and it's not like overwhelming and stuff like that. And then too, it's with the family. Like, some people probably don't like working with their family. I don't know. But I was just like, I think that would be a super cool idea. Like, if this was the salon that I chose. So that was that. So then, like I said, I get there and stuff, and everything was cool. And then we just started talking and stuff, because again, I don't get to talk to her. So it was cool. And, like, basically that day, she gave me a key to the salon. And so we were just like talking business and stuff. And it was just like, that just felt right at that moment. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm never one of those people like that's just like, all right, this is the first opportunity, take it. It wasn't like that. But if I feel in my heart that, in my spirit, that that's right, then that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I did. And so it was cool. Like I said, soon after that, I came in, I started, setting stuff up or whatever the case. And I was just like, yo, this is real. Like, I'm just like, this is kind of cool. So still with no type of worries. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, that was my moment. It low-key fell in my lap. But, I mean, I don't want to say, like, God didn't do nothing. That's not what I'm saying. But it was just like, the opportunity presented itself, and I took it. So, that was cool. And so, like I said, I started setting stuff up. And then, my very first client, which was a cousin of mine, was probably like that very next week, maybe, or probably like a little less than that, I'm not sure, but it was like very soon. And then it seemed like right after that, they just all started just like piling in. Like, don't get me wrong, I still had some days where I just didn't have clients. Like, I'm not trying to act like I had clients every single day, but it was just like, it was like a good flow to where I'm just like, okay, like, I do this, like, this is now my life. So it was just like, it's just so funny how I could have been doing that a long time ago, like when I graduated cosmetology school. But I had so much self-doubt. I had all of these, well, what ifs, and I want to make sure this is cool before I start, and I want to make, it was just like, I was in here with it. And I hate that I went that long, because I graduated in 2018, and this is 2020, and I am finally saying I have a solid salon home. I started back in January. So like I said, it was just sweet how everything rolled out. But that just goes to show you how you cannot question, or you cannot stop what God has for you. Like, you can push it off as much as you may want to, but if it's for you, you need to do it. It's just that simple. You need to do it. Like, this is my purpose in life, to make people feel great about themselves. Whether that's just them getting their hair done, whether it's just, me doing their makeup, or me having a conversation with them behind the chair while they're getting their hair or makeup done. It's like, I have a purpose in this life and in this world, and I have to live it, because if I don't, I'm scared to find out what will happen. Then those I should have done's will be so much worse than the what ifs I had before. So it's like, I'm so grateful for my friend that encouraged me and pushed me to do it when I wasn't even about to do it at that time. I wasn't going to do it right then. I sure wasn't. And if I didn't get fired, I would probably still be at that job right now, miserable as heck. So it's just like, it's just amazing. Like, sometimes I just sit back and think like, yo, how everything just lined up. Me getting fired, me having all this free time, me being able to be with my mom to her very last day, and then right after that, finding my salon home. And now I'm just like happy. Not 100% because my mom ain't here, but you see what I'm saying? Like, as far as like what I'm doing with myself, I'm about to start a cosmetic line, and Lord, I'm about to cry again, Jesus. So like, about to have a cosmetic line, and just all of the opportunities that can come about just from me being me, and just from me, my purpose in life. Like I said, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Don't get me wrong. I'm a hairstylist, so of course I want to sell hair. That just goes. But it's like, I didn't think about lip glosses. For one, I'm selling lip glosses before I'm even selling hair. Like, how crazy is that? But if it works for me, it works for me. And it's just, that's what I need to do, because that's another way of helping someone feel great about themselves. So it is what it is, you know. And so that's why, like, with the cosmetic line, I want to, because I have men and women clientele, because I don't want to just be known for one thing. I don't want to just be like, oh, Rana who do hair. I don't want that to ever come out of somebody's mouth, you know. So it's like, with the lip oils that I'm gonna have, like, I'm gonna try my best to make them unisex. The oils, not the glosses, of course. But, like, I want to try to make it be where it's just, like, still moisturized guys' lips without being, like, over the top, juicy, and, you know, all bright and stuff, you know, as far as, like, the gloss look of it. So I'm just gonna look at all of that and take all of that into consideration, because I will be hand making all of this stuff by myself. And that line alone makes me so happy. I haven't even started it because of this whole Corona stuff. I haven't gotten all of my stuff in, like, all together like I would have. But it's like, I can't wait. I'm so anxious for Tuesday to come so I can get the rest of my stuff so I can start, because it just makes me happy. And I don't care how much money it makes. Don't get me wrong, I spent a little grip on some of this stuff, but I don't really care how much money it makes. I'm doing it because I know I will enjoy doing it. I'm excited to even start. So I can't even imagine once I start how more amped up I'm gonna be, you know. So that's just that. And then again, hair alone, me just doing hair and, you know, seeing someone's before and after, that I live for that. I freaking live for that. If it's like a super huge before and after, I'm taking pictures. I'm always asking my clients, you know, is it okay if I take this picture? You know, but I'm gonna try to take pictures. It just is what it is. So it's like, just do what makes you happy. Do what's for you. Don't force anything. If you do it for the money, because there were some people who went to school with me who just liked hair and they just did it. I'm speaking about hair alone. If you're doing it just for the money, I hope you gain a passion for it, because there's a huge difference between someone who has a passion and who's doing it just to do it. You could tell the difference in just how they speak and how they move and how they operate, how they speak with you before and after the appointment. And let's say something goes wrong. Let's say, God forbid, a braid slip out. How they handle and how they react towards that. That's important too. So it's just like, I'm never about to get an attitude with somebody if, you know, they felt like, and they're critiquing something. You know, if they're just like, hey, maybe next time can we do it this way? Or, you know, this happened. Can I come back to you tomorrow and can we fix it? I don't know. I'm just thinking of something. It's just like, absolutely. Why would I say no? Because that's a customer of mine. That's a value customer of mine and it's like, if it's something that I know I did, absolutely. I have no problem with that. I have no problem. But like I said, that's the difference between somebody who has a passion for what they do and want to keep their clients versus somebody who's doing it for the money, who's just like, oh, I'll get another customer. Client. I'll get another client. I'll get another this. I'll get another that. That's the whole difference. That makes a huge difference. So it's like, yeah. So with all of that, I don't even know where I was going with that, but y'all following me. I hope y'all still with me. But I want to just wrap this up and say, you know, do what is for you. Do not do it for anyone else. Do what is for you. When it comes to, you know, just your career wise. Don't get me wrong, I have other things going on that's not it's for me because I can benefit from it, but it's more of for like my future family that I don't even have yet. I have that type of stuff going on as well. But right now, what I do for me and my joy is hair. And then whatever else will come from it that, you know, will come out of me doing hair, great. I'm up for opportunities. I'm not going to overwhelm myself, but I'm up for business opportunities. But that's also why I need to have a good team with me, because I can't do this by myself. Like, everything that I know, y'all, like, I feel stuff in my spirit so much to where I don't even know what it is. Does that make sense? Like, I know my potential. I know what I can do. I know how far I can go. I know all of the great people I'm going to meet, all of the great people that I will inspire, and all of the people who inspire me, because I want to be at a table with bosses. And I also want to be at a table with people who were once in my seat. So it's just like, I know all of this stuff is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And it's just like, I just know that I need to have like a team who feels similar to what I'm feeling, so that way they understand what I'm saying. Because unfortunately, I cannot have this conversation with certain people that I'm close to, because I don't think they will understand what I'm saying. You know, like, it's just, I don't want to say it's hard to explain, because it is what it is, what I just said. But it's like, I really need to be able to be around people who may not even be in the hair industry, but just an entrepreneur, somebody that wants to, you know, open up this, open up that, open up a restaurant, open up, you know, just somebody who can speak about entrepreneurship just in general. Those are the people I'm trying to be around. And that's also why I'm making the moves that I'm making, like literally the moves I'm making, because I know I need to be around those type of people. And I have not here in Cleveland. So it is what it is. But again, do what is for you. Do it for you. Do it if it feels right. If you're still unsure about it, I will always say pray about it. That's never going to not be the answer. Pray about it. If you're still unsure, don't make a move so fast. Don't make a move so fast. Because you don't want to regret it, or, you know, it being forced. Do what's for you. Take your time. Just know that that time will come for you to do whatever your purpose is. Just work towards it. Never stop working towards it. Don't get discouraged. That's easier said than done, but do not get discouraged to the point, I'm gonna take this back. Don't get discouraged to the point to where you quit. Because I've been discouraged and I slowed down, but I wasn't like oh, she stopped doing hair. That's never been the case. It's just I slowed down. So, well, I did slow down. I'm fine now, but just make sure that you always put whatever you're going through in God's hands. Because I would have never expected my life to be what it is now. And I'm not even like where I want to be. And I'm still happy with what I have. Do you guys understand? Like, I don't have like a house. I'm in an apartment. You know, I don't have this. I don't have that. It's like, but I'm still happy. So that way, that's how I know that when I do get what I'm supposed to be getting, what I deserve, and what God says I'm going to get, that's how I know, like, I'm 100% prepared for it because of my mindset now, you know? So it's just like, y'all just, if only y'all knew, and I hope some of y'all understand what I'm saying right now, but when you are highly favored, y'all, like, that's a whole nother feeling. Like, I'm about to cry again. That's a whole nother feeling. Like, when you cannot even, like, see what what's for you. When you can't see it, when you don't know what it is, who it is, you know, just with anything, like when you don't know and you have so much faith that it's there and you're living life as if it's there and happening. Like y'all right now, y'all can't tell me I'm not a public figure. You can't tell me that I'm not an influencer. You can't tell me that I'm not an entrepreneur. You know, it's like, you can't tell me I'm not a bomb hairstylist. You can't tell me that low-key I'm not a model. You know, you can't tell me any of that because it's in my mind already. It's in my mind. So you can't, no one can take that away from me, you know? So it's just like, your faith, no one can take away from you. Your knowledge, your wisdom, no one can take that away from you. And don't let anybody take your joy away from you. So I'm going to end that with that because I feel like that was a good ending. And y'all just stay encouraged. Reach out to anyone that you need to reach out to help you. If you ever feel like you're lost with anything, just any type of way. If you're lost with an idea, if you're lost with life, if you need help with, just don't be afraid to reach out because there's people that's there that will help you. And it may not always be family. It can be your pastor. Don't think you always got to go to an aunt, uncle, mom, dad. It may not even be somebody that's blood to you, but somebody that cares for you just as much as they do. If not more. I hate to say it, but if not more. So, yeah. So that was my story time. Y'all watched me cry a few times. Y'all watched me cry a few times, but this was not intentional to be a sad story, but it's a meaningful one because it's my story and it's my testimony that I get to say and get to live by, and I'm about to cry to Jesus Christ. So y'all just stay blessed, stay praying, pray every single day. Don't let a day go by that you don't pray. Don't let a day go by that you don't manifest your dreams. And that's all I have for you guys. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you all made it to the end. I know my true ride or dies will make it to the end. And yeah, so this is that, and you guys will be able to look back on this in 2 years and be like, wow, this is how she started and look where she is now. Just give me 2 years or less. Give me 2 years less. And I promise you, people is going to know Rana. I can promise you that. Because I just know. I can promise. So, I have to leave it with this. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.